Alright, like I said, I'm going to do this two ways. The first way is with a sign line graph. The second way is with a graph. Okay, here we go. I'm going to factor this, and I get x squared x plus 2. And then I'm going to take out a negative 4 from this one. And then, let's see, what do I get? I get a positive 2. Oh, that's good. So I could take out an x plus 2 for each of these. And then I have, what is that? An x squared minus 4. And that can also be factored, okay? And so I have an x plus 2. And then I have an x plus 2 and an x minus 2. And the question is where is this less than or equal to 0? So, to find the equal to, I'm going to have to set each of these factors equal to 0. I get x equals negative 2 for these guys. And since there's 2 of them, we're going to need to know this later, but since there's 2 of them, that means negative 2 has a multiplicity of 2. And 2. Okay. So here's your sign line graph. This is one way you guys can do it. It's just pretty much an x-axis. And your question is, where are you positive and where are you negative in each interval? So for each interval, what you have to do is you have to pick a number that you're going to test. So these are testing numbers. Here's a negative 3. I'll pick 0 there, and I'll pick 3 right there. Can I pick a different number? Yes, you can pick a different number. You do not have to pick the same numbers as I pick. But you guys need to make sure you pick one number in each interval. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in negative 3. If I plug in negative 3 into this one, what do I get, a positive or negative number? Negative. What about this one? Negative. So we have a negative times a negative so far. And then what would I get if I plug it into this one? Negative. Times a negative again? That means this would be negative. Alright, what if we plugged in 0? That would be positive, that would be positive, and that would be? Negative. Oh my goodness. That means this is also negative, right? Okay, now let's try the positive 3. If I plug a positive 3 into this, what do I get? Positive. Positive. And then what about this one? Positive. And what about this one? Positive. Oh, wow. That one is positive. And so the question says, where are we below the x-axis? Where are we less than 0? And the answer is negative 2 all the way that way. I'm sorry. I circled positive 2 and I said negative 2. Where x is less than or equal to positive 2. Or you guys could write it in interval notation. Negative infinity to 2. Include the 2. Do not include negative infinity. He is not a number, guys. So you got to choose one of these ways to write it. Now, if you guys know how to graph, you can graph it instead. You see, when you graph, there's 3 things you want to do. You want to find your end behavior. You want to find your zeros, aka x-intercepts. And then you must know about multiplicity. Multiplicity just tells you whether or not you bounce or go through each of the zeros. And then for a bonus one, the bonus one is y-intercepts. That's bonus. You don't have to do the y-intercept most of the time, but it is a bonus. Some of you guys like bonuses. Okay, here we go. Now, let's review, what is it, end behavior. Okay, so for end behavior, let's see. I'm going to draw myself a little table here because I know you guys like tables. Okay, I'm going to say odd degree, even degree, positive leading coefficient, and negative leading coefficient. Do you guys remember this stuff?
Yes.
Okay, I draw a little x and y axis for each of these. Now, if you had an odd degree with a positive leading coefficient, you would go down, then up. If it was negative, if it was a negative leading coefficient, you would go up, down.
What?
For even, it would be up, up, and the negative would be down, down.
Upside down cat ears.
Yep. Yep. That's what I was thinking too. Okay. Now this is an odd degree and a positive leading coefficient. So that means our end behavior is going to be down, up. Is everybody with me? Okay. Now I need to graph all my x-intercepts, -2 and 2, and then +2 right here. And then I just have to graph it. Now I'm going to start on the left side of the graph, down here where the end behavior is, and I'm going to come at the -2. Now when I hit -2, am I going to go through the -2, or am I going to bounce off of it? That's a good question. Or we could actually go through it like this. Ooh. Let's see. It looks like -2 is coming from 2 factors, which means it has a multiplicity of 2, which is even. And whenever you have even, that means bounce. And then for the 2, it's odd because there's only 1 factor. So we're going to go at that -2, bounce off of him, and then go right through it. Right through the 2. So do you guys see where our answers are? Everywhere this function is below the x-axis, that's our answer.